Okay, folks, thank you all very much for your patience. And on behalf of the committee, I want to thank everyone for their attendance and for their contributions to today's committee and to the hearing, which has helped us come to a decision as a committee on this application. It hasn't been easy, as I'm sure you have all gathered. We've been at it for quite some time, but it is my job now as chair of this committee to inform everyone of the decision that the committee has reached. And after due consideration, the members of the committee have decided to refuse the application based on the submissions that we have heard. Obviously, the applicant has an option to appeal that decision within 21 days, and council officers will write out to the applicant with the details of how to go about that. But for now, this committee has had its hearing and made its decision, and that decision is where we stand at this stage. So once again, on behalf of the committee, I want to thank everybody for their attendance and for their patience. It was appropriate that we spent a bit of time on this and talked it out, which we did, and we have come to our decision, and that decision has been made and will be notified in due course. So I want to thank everyone on behalf of the committee. Thank you. Now, we are going to move on with the rest of our committee business. You're welcome to stay in the public gallery if you so wish. I didn't think so. So look, thank you all very much for your attendance. Members, if you don't mind, I'm going to give a wee minute or two to our guests leave the room. Thank you. Okay, members, we're going to get back at it. I have 3 items under chairperson's business, and I'm going to ask people, given the time of the evening that we're at, I've actually got 4, to be as quick as you can. The first, as myself and as Councillor Harkin will be aware, I last week met with Councillor Harkin and Ciara Ferguson, MLA, met with representatives of the Rainbow Youth Project. They gave us an outline of the work that they are involved in and where they see, for want of a better word, I suppose, some communication and outreach issues that they would like support to address. So I have offered the opportunity through today's committee, with your support, that they come on and give a deputation to this committee on the work that they have been are engaged in. And I would also ask that council officers work with the Rainbow Project to potentially open some doors for them in terms of some of the support organisations and some of the civic organisations that they could be engaging with to provide opportunities for their organisation. So if that could be actioned, I would greatly appreciate it. Councillor Harkin, do you want to comment, or are you all right? Okay, thank you. Next on the list is Councillor McDade.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to keep this very brief because I think we're all very tired now at this stage. I just want to take the opportunity to congratulate the under-14 girls Gaelic football squad. They are All-Ireland gold champions this summer, which is actually the highest achievement any dairy squad have had at this level at any other squads, and make a proposal that the Mayor invites them in for a civic reception, just especially for them, because it has such an outstanding achievement, and for these young ladies, just to show our support to them. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't think we're going to need it, but can I get a seconder? Councillor Jackson, you're not on the committee no more. Councillor Hutton, thank you. So that is all agreed? Yep. Okay, third on the list is Councillor Hutton.
Thank you, Chair. So today I'm just looking to bring to this council's attention some of the challenges that we have been facing as representatives, residents, occupants and neighbourhoods throughout the district. In particular, I would like to draw your attention to an area in our city, the residents of which have been enduring large volumes of antisocial behaviour. They include crimes such as bicycle theft, burglary, criminal damage, arson, drugs activity. They include needles being found in a local park. And residents witnessing drug dealing activity on their streets, shoplifting and possession of knives. This area that I'm speaking about is Abercorn Road and the wider Bishop Street area. They've been enduring nightly disruption, which called for blue light services and policing patrols to be deployed on a number of occasions. I'm sitting here today with a folder presented to me yesterday by an organisation called the Community Neighbourhood Association, which was made up of residents. Within the folder is a very detailed letter from a member of that group, as well as a petition with 790 signatures, which I'll be presenting to Council. This is arising from a residents' meeting that they had asked us for, where over 100 people showed up. There are 4 HMOs on Abercorn Road, not to mention the others located throughout Carlisle Road, Grove Place and the surrounding areas. Some of these which are managed by external agencies in Belfast without consultation with our local housing executive. This problem is not isolated to Abercorn Road. This is a crisis throughout, and I do know that other council members are dealing with issues similar to this in areas of Carlisle Road, Spencer Road, Duncragan Road and Limavady Road. This is also affecting our business community across these areas, and they deserve to be protected too. Long-standing businesses in our city are suffering, and we need to ensure that we safeguard them also. These HMOs are home to some of the most vulnerable people in our society who, in my opinion, are misplaced and are not given the adequate wraparound support to help them thrive and to make the changes required to lead a safe and healthy life. Today we met as a team at the Housing Executive offices. Present were reps from Sinn Féin, SDLP, the DUP, Housing Support, the Housing Executive, Police and City Centre Initiative. Without going into the full detail at this stage, I'll just set the context of that meeting today.
So can I ask you?
It's nearly done.
Thank you.
So the Housing Executive are under serious pressure when it comes to homelessness in our communities and people requiring temporary accommodation. That said, our residents and neighbourhoods are under a lot of stress and anxiety in relation to antisocial behaviour and criminality on their streets. Their homes are supposed to be safe spaces where they have gardens, where their children play and where they park their vehicles. I spoke with the primary school principals in the vicinity of Abercorn Park yesterday to inform them of the needles that were found in the local park and to inform them that adequate checking of the park would need to take place before they take the children to play there. That's not how things should be working in our thriving, peaceful communities, nor should vulnerable people be misplaced in areas where they are not at risk to others, but at risk to themselves. So I am asking this council to schedule a special meeting of council where we can form a task force made up of multi-agencies as well as reps from each political party. I'm asking that this is done as a matter of urgency so we can collectively come together to try and find a solution to this problem. The way forward is working together and supporting each other. We need a long-term fix for this situation. Our communities are clearly upset and unnerved. It is our responsibility as a council to ensure that we do our very best to collectively work together in order to keep our streets safe, residents safe and ensure safe procedures for the allocation of these HMOs and indeed paying due care and attention to the vulnerable people involved. This task force can ask the relevant questions, source the relevant stats and data and work towards a resolution to this problem in a timely fashion. Thank you. Can I see you with them glasses on? You give me a look.
Right, far be it from you to bring something short. But look, I would agree with a lot of what you're saying. Reps from our own party have been inundated for quite some time. This has been going on quite a number of years where we've seen this just getting worse and worse. And when you look at some of the budgets within Housing Executive around temporary accommodation and the share of that budget which has been spent here in the city compared to other large cities across the north, I think we're getting more than our fair share. And others need to carry some of that load as well to support these people. So I have no issue in supporting your proposal. I'm going to ask the floor if we have a seconder because I want to push on. Alderman McMorris, happy to second. Okay. do we have the proposal? Not the whole 50 pages that you read out, but just the proposal. Can we get the proposal? The proposal. Anybody want to comment on the, Councillor Donnelly, go ahead. Your mic there, please, Councillor.
To Brown Arm, Chair. I missed some of the contribution from Councillor Hutton. No, don't want to.
Come on, come on.
But look, I'll keep it. When you're talking about multi-agency, and that includes the PSNI, then I won't be voting for it. But what I will say, Chair, is that there is serious issues here. I myself have been given bags of drugs which were found in the area, which appeared to be heroin, which was then disposed of. I was talking to a young man who within the last 2 days was placed in one of these buildings, and he wasn't there. There was nobody there to give him the key. So he left his bag down and he went to walk. By the time he came back, he was robbed. And then when the perpetrators who robbed him, they threatened him. So there's serious issues in the area. And and there's a report here about houses of multiple occupation and the numbers per council. There's a perception here that there's a lot of people being dumped into these areas from areas from outside. Belfast and areas like that, and just checking the statistics, there's 3,100 HMOs in Belfast, and there's 269 here in this council area. There's something wrong when we're taking such a large influx of people from an area that has over 10 times the amount of HMOs. I don't know what's going on, but there's a perception there that we're being used for a dumping ground. I'm unable to support the proposal, but I do agree with Councillor Hutton that there's a lot of very serious issues going on there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Donnelly. Are we any closer to getting the proposal? Councillor Hutton? Alderman McMorris?
Chair, I'm going to keep this really brief, but just like to express, my concerns about the housing situation in the city. I know myself, I've been to community meetings, I've had engagement with the housing executive and other statutory agencies regarding that. So it is a major concern, and we will be supporting the motion or the proposal.
Thank you. Okay. We're just waiting on the. Just bear with us 1 wee minute. Okay, members, that's the proposal from Councillor Hutton on the screen, which was seconded by Alderman McMorris, I think. All right? All right. Okay, can I get agreement from everyone? Yeah? Councillor, yep, okay. Councillor Donnelly, that's the proposal. We're taking a vote on it. Are you?
Abstaining, Chair.
Okay, so all in favour and one abstention? Yeah.
Just in relation to the proposal, there was, I know it's not contained within the proposal, but as a lead up to the working group being formed, there is a specific request around the setting up or having a special council meeting, but that will contain and give opportunities for all members to feed in.
Okay. Okay.
Take it then, it's that we propose this council convene a special council meeting and set up a task force. Is that what you're suggesting, right?
Okay, so all in favour and one abstention from Councillor Donnelly. Okay, enough. Moving on. The last item on chairperson's business is from Councillor Donnelly. Gary?
Chair. Chair, I've been approached by people within the D&D Youth Football Association who have currently a booking in the, bear with me because I don't have glasses and
It's a shared village.
shared village, right? They have this. It's a long-term booking, but they've been informed by council this week that they're going to lose this booking, or at least they were put under pressure initially to give it up, and I think it's been removed from them. It's causing a lot of concern. There's 16 teams, managers and families who were to carry out a tournament on the pitches there, and they've only been informed of this, Chair. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. They had an agreement with the GAA who were working with them initially. The same organisation had lost two pitches which was available to them on Saturdays and Sundays at McGee, but because of the new students, and I think that it's not a good advertisement. There are serious issues, and this council needs to try and get it sorted. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Just to point out, I've also been contacted by the same organisation on the same issue between last night and today as well. But I'm going to ask Barry to come in and address your concerns there, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Donnelly, I'm aware of this particular issue, and just to set the context, members will be aware that the Waterside Shared Village was funded through SEUPB to the tune of €8 million, and we had a block booking process, but we had also a number of stakeholders and a number of activities and outputs we have to deliver. So we, by the end of September, in order to be compliant with our funding, we have to deliver 3 courses, one a soccer course and one a cricket course. So the tutors were confirmed last week, and unfortunately that means that the pitch and the building's not available for the next 3 weeks. It will impact the D&D for 1 week this week on the booking, and they've been offered alternative venues including Brandywell Stadium. So in terms of the letter of offer and the money we accept from SUPB, we have to deliver the outputs, and if we don't deliver the outputs, there'll be a financial penalty to this council. The D&D had been notified of that, their local representative, so it's not a case of council cancelling their booking. We have a number of outputs that we have to deliver, and we presented this in the chamber previously, and when those come up, we have to do it. So that has to be completed for the last 3 weeks of September. So after that period, the D&D will get their bookings again. But I think it only applies for this week because their league's ends this week. So we've offered them a number of suitable venues, alternative venues, including Brandywell Stadium. So happy to answer any questions through yourself, Chair.
Councillor Donnelly?
Chair, look, I understand that there is, responsibilities with money and that, but I think what I can't accept is that they for 16 teams, they're due to be playing a competition, and contact them, not even a week's notice is a bit short. To me, that's not acceptable. The financial penalty, I would be interested in hearing how much the financial penalty, and according to the people that I've spoke to, the Brandywell, the alternative offer to Brandywell isn't suitable, and that it would have to be lined out by cones, which is more in line with training rather than a soccer competition involving 16 junior football teams, both boys and girls. So, there is things here that we could get better. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Jackson?
Chair, just in the interest of openness, I was also contacted by representatives from the D&D, and I've been in contact with council officers throughout the day in relation to this. And the Waterside Shared Village is a fantastic facility, and there's nothing I would love more than they have 16 teams and huge numbers of people coming on Sunday. They showcase the fantastic facility that we've got, but I'm acutely aware of the challenges and the deadlines in relation to meeting targets set out by funders. It's not unique to council. The community sector, both in Topham and Irish Street, are facing the same challenges in relation to delivering targets before the deadline of the end of September. So what I would ask is that if Barry has outlined the challenges to council, it is disappointing that there wasn't more notice given. But if there's any logistical support the council could provide, I know in terms of we've offered alternative venues, but to accommodate the type of facility, if there was any logistical support the council could provide to the organisers, they help ease that process and make those venues more suitable. It's something that we would certainly encourage. But no, thanks for the update, Barry, and thanks for the engagement throughout today. Cheers, Chair.
Councillor Harkin.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, look, this is unfortunate. I think that it isn't acceptable for people to be told this week that when they have an event on Sunday and there's 2,000 people coming, 16 teams, a lot of planning, that they have to move and they've lost their space. So, and I understand the deadlines that the shared village has. So it just seems to me that, look, the last thing we want is a standoff on Sunday where, the people are trying, two groups are trying to use the space. So I think that means the onus is very much on council to bend over backwards and try to figure out a way to resolve this. And that means getting back around the table with a different, with the D&D. And obviously an apologies part of it, but they want a resolution. So I think we have to figure out a resolution. Otherwise, we're setting the stage for a not good situation on Sunday. And I think that everybody would probably prefer to avoid that. So there's got to be a way to get people in the discussion where we can sort this out constructively. And I'm sure, that's what you would like to see. That's what we would like to see as a council. And I think that this is just, whatever encouragement we can give towards that. Hopefully that'll help.
Thank you, Councillor Harkin. Barry, is there anything you want to respond or?
No, look, we'll take all the comments on board in terms of the time period. It's my understanding that, that was confirmed on Tuesday, but discussions have been ongoing over a period of time with the local rep. This wasn't just something I sprung on the organisation, but the way the courses run, we've been struggling, and this is normally the case over the summer period, to try and tie down a number of governing bodies, because we're dependent on them delivering the coach education outputs and them tying down tutors and all the rest. We've something similar with the cricket qualification, so that's something that the guys have been working on since July, and it was just recently confirmed. So hence we went back to the bookers. So in terms of the resolution, that the facility is needed on the pitch all day for the practical stuff in terms of those outputs. But as I think Councillor Jackson has suggested, if it is the like of the Brandywell, we'll provide staff resource to mark out the pitches and the mini pitches and the mini goals and all that. That will be the exact same up at Waterside Shared Village. It's the same dimensions, same sizes, so we'll logistically be able to help in the best way we can. We can take that forward with the staff team over to Brandywell. We're opening the Brandywell upward on Sunday if the organisers wish to go there. So we'll provide whatever logistical support that we can on the day to make sure that happens.
Okay, can I ask that senior council officers relay that information back to the D&D and work with them? I think that's where we're coming from. Work with them to try and get a reasonable solution to this difficulty. Happy enough, members? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so item number 7 first is the matters arising from the open minutes of the Health and Community Committee, Thursday the 20th of July. Any matters arising from those minutes? Aaron?
Thanks, Chair. And it's in relation to HC 106-23. Councillor Donnelly had brought up an issue quite rightly, brought up an issue at this committee to do with Ulster Rugby and Keenspan and their sponsorship of the stadium. And we wrote to them. I think it's only fair, and I didn't know, like, I don't follow rugby or anything like that, but it popped up and it basically read into it, and Ulster were actually playing at Breffni Park. The GAA had actually lent them their pitch to play a match because their own was getting relayed or something. But I believe in the light that happened, with everything that happened at Grenfell Tower, and for reasons that we sent the Ulster Rugby, we should also write the Cavan GAA to ask them to reconsider their sponsorship deal with Keenspan and the naming of their stadium, Breffni. It's the Keenspan Breffni Park, and I've gave the proposal there to Paula.
Thank you. Councillor Donnelly?
Good, Chair. Yeah, and if it needs a seconder, I'm happy to second that. I think Alderman Guy is 100%. You know, it doesn't matter who wears the jersey, whether it's rugby or GAA. It's an affront, given what's happened and the complicity of Keenspan in the catastrophe what happened in Grenfell. And as time goes on, there's more harrowing details coming out. It's just, you know, it's been released that a lot of the firefighters who were there have contracted cancer. You know, so I don't think the full, whilst, you know, it is a horror, I think the full extent of that horror is yet to unfold. So I'd like to thank Alderman Guy for that proposal and like to second it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Donnelly. Members, there's a proposal before you, which has been seconded. Anybody wish to speak to it, or are we happy to agree? I need some sort of indication. Agreed. Okay. All in favour? Thank you. Right, members, no further matters arising from the minutes of the last meeting? No? Okay. Item number 8 is next, but we're going to bring, if we are indulgence, item 12 forward. The Department for Communities Hardship Fund, if members are okay with that. Yeah, okay. Thank you. And it's Una McGillian who's joined us online to take us through that report. Una, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can indeed, Chair, and thank you very much. Appreciate you being able to bring this forward. Members, as you can see from the outline of the report, in terms of the purpose, is to seek your approval of the proposed interventions and financial allocations under the Department for Communities Hardship Fund. Members, you will be aware from previous reports that the department has made money available to all councils for a hardship scheme, and they've asked each council to identify their own hardship scheme and identify their own priorities for that hardship scheme. And within the background information, members, you can see that the overall budget was £4 million, and they've allocated on the basis of population. Therefore, our allocation within the council area was £316,724. However, they've also issued a directive whereby they've allowed any unspent money from the previous financial year given for cost of living support and also hardship, that can be now ring-fenced for this particular fund. So in total, we have a budget of just over £441,000. Members, again, at our previous discussions, we said that it was really important that we would do a co-design process and work with local stakeholder organisations who are currently delivering support to people in need, so that we can really identify the current issues and what would be the best placed interventions to try to meet those issues. And we've given you an overview of those discussions that have taken place during the summer months under Section 3, which are the key issues. And it'll be no surprise, members, to you in terms of the issues that are coming forward, and particularly around the level of need that has increased. The fact that many of our support organisations now are saying that they've got burnout in terms of their organisation organisations and staff, and that there's a real sense that this isn't a problem that's going to go away anytime soon, that it's just continuing to develop and grow, unfortunately, as we move towards the winter months. Members, also in terms of the support organisations, it became very, very evident that there has been fantastic collaboration and networking between the organisations. So this whole idea that if one organisation can't assist, that they try and signpost and refer on a household or an individual in terms of who needs support, to make sure that they're not missed and as much support is given as possible. However, in the situation that we find ourselves in, that unfortunately, given the level of need, that there just isn't enough support out there in terms of being able to address all of that. And that's one of the key aspects of the discussions that have taken place in the last couple of months, is recognising that whilst this money is welcomed from the department, that it's clearly non-recurrent, which means that it's a one-off intervention, and that due to the needs locally, that there will be an element of prioritisation and an element of targeting that will be required. So whilst there is universal need geographically and across all sector groups, we've tried to identify interventions that will give us a balance of being able to reach as many people as possible, but also in terms of having particular targeted interventions. Members, you can see again within section 3 some of the key areas that local groups, and particularly around policy, and we've done a lot of research in terms of different research that has been completed and things that have been published in the last number of months, to try to really inform the thinking and the debate that has taken place. And within section 3.5, we've highlighted the 4 key intervention areas that are being recommended to you today. The first one is signposting and raising awareness. And you can see within the detail of this, members, that there's a recognition that whilst there is a lot of support out there, that maybe not everybody's aware of that support or how to access that support. And also in terms of how you publicise that support and how you make that support very accessible. So there's lots of suggestions around these kind of roadshow type interventions that would happen within local communities, and how that they would be maybe framed against other activities that are already happening, particularly maybe for older people or for families, and how you would actually try to reach maybe some people who wouldn't normally come forward in terms of support. So the budget recommended for this intervention, members, is £10,000, and it's expected that it would start in early October and roll right through until March of next year. The second recommendation, members, is for localised interventions, and this is really working through the local growth model that we would have within council, and the consensual grant aid making model that we have, whereby each DA is allocated a sum of money based on population, deprivation and rurality, and that each of those areas work within their local partnerships to identify what they believe will be the best intervention to meet the needs within their local area. And you can see again, members, within this table, that we've identified the allocations that will go to each of the 8 areas. Plus, we've identified both Derg and Spurn being awarded the underspends that have come from the Emergency Fuel Support Programme, so that they would be added, and those interventions that will come forward would be for the totality of those budgets. Members, again, we expect these proposals to start in October, and that they would continue then on to March of next year. The third intervention is for social supermarkets, and this is really about extended delivery. Members, you're aware that we have 2 pilot social supermarkets within our council area, both of them funded by the Department for Communities. However, given the limited amount of money that they have through this existing funding, that they feel that there's a much wider wraparound service and much wider network in terms of support that they can provide, particularly to individuals that are coming forward. Members, what's very interesting in terms of the social supermarket model is that whilst they work with a very extensive group in terms of trusted partners, for example, the Foyle Food Bank works with 150 trusted partners, still in all, they get 90% of the people that come forward are by self-referral. So they've got a really, really huge network in terms of being able to reach people that are in need, and this additional intervention of £80,000 will be able to help a lot more families and a lot more households in terms of giving them that additional support. Remember, the last area is the targeted support for families and individuals and couples. And this is really, again, looking that whilst recognising that there's a geographical need across the entire council area and that there's a need across all sectors, that there is targeted interventions that would be very beneficial at a particular time to those that are in need. And the recommended budget here is £230,000. And by working with local community-based support organisations who could take on the role of trusted partners, that we would be able to identify those households that need additional support, and that one of our advice partners would undertake a holistic assessment. And this is really trying to understand what additional support can be given to that household so that they can maximise the opportunities that are presented or that they may be able to avail of that they're not aware of, and being able to support them in this particular time. Members, we've given you some outline in terms of how the budget would be allocated in terms of both families, 75% of going towards families and 25% of the budget going towards individuals and couples. And then again, that's really recognising the level of need that's there within families at the minute. Given the fact that this will be a targeted intervention, it is proposed that it would be each of the DEAs would receive a sum based on the Council's template of population, deprivation and rurality. Members, at this stage, we need approval to proceed with the procurement of a delivery partner for this intervention. We've outlined in section 4 the key area in terms of where the budget has come from and what we propose to do with it. In terms of equality, members, we've carried out an equality screening and will continue to review each of these interventions to make sure that we fully meet any obligations with respect of that. Section 5, members, gives you the detail there in terms of the summary of the recommendations in terms of each of the 4 interventions. And this evening we're asking you to approve that, and you'll see that there's a very small balance remaining of £1,414, and we're asking that that would be allocated towards administration costs. So, Chair, very happy. I know that that was a very quick overview in terms of the paper. Members will have had a chance to consider it in advance of this, and we've also spoken at the Hardship Fund Working Group in relation to it. So very happy to take any questions or any comments members might have at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for that report. I do have one indicated speaker at this stage, Councillor Hutton.
Thank you, Chair, and thanks very much, Anna, for that very detailed report. I just want to commend Anna and the team for the work that has been put into this. I'm on the working group for the Hardship Fund, and this has been sort of it's very welcoming that this money is coming forward, but I think that we would all agree that the money has fallen short. This money will help a targeted group. It will help a percentage of families and couples that are living in our DEAs, but it's just not enough. It's there. It will be worked through these the local planning groups, and people will get the help that they need. But I think at this stage, we need an executive up and running. We need a minister in DFC. We need to get more support for families in our communities. This will only work for a short period of time. We need a long-term fix here, and it is important that we get that executive up and running so that we can support these families and individuals in our community who are going to be feeling the burden now with the cost of living crisis, with the fuel and electric they're going to be purchasing, and Christmas is also around the corner. But thanks, Una. It's a great piece of work, and this will be utilised as best it can be throughout the communities, and those targeted families will get the support that they need. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hutton, you're proposing the recommendations?
Yeah, I'll propose.
Thank you. Can I get a seconder, please? Alderman McMorris? Everybody in agreement? Yeah. Okay, thank you. And thanks again to Una. And I know you're always engaged today, so thank you for bearing with us till we get to this section of the meeting. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Chair. Thank you, members.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes to get through this one. Seamus, yep. Item number 8.
Thanks, Chair, and I will be brief.
So proposed. Thank you. We might get it done through another one. Item number 9, Barry.
Thanks, Chair. Members will be quick with this as well. Just to seek your approval for council to act as a sponsor body in relation to the transfer of land from the EA, the New Buildings Community and Environmental Association.
Thank you. Councillor Duffy. Number 10 is Barry. Yeah.
Thanks, Chair. Members, this is your approval for both the Waterside and the Moor consensual grant making action plans. And you're seeking approval of £15,000 for the lead partners, Triax, and for Waterside Neighbourhood Partnership Board.
Opposed, Councillor Duffy. Yep, thank you. Item number 11.
Thanks, Chair. Members, this is to seek your approval to award £35,000 to Rapid as part of their SLA for rural support, and also to award fund of 18,750 to Newton Stewart 2000 Centre as part of their service level agreement.
So proposed, Councillor Boggs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Item number 12 we've done. Anybody on the next items from 13 to 20 are for information, unless there's anybody wants to bring anything up. Councillor Boggs, go ahead.
Very, very quickly, just under the public convenience scheme, I don't know if it's 14 or 13 or 15 because it's messed up on mine. 15, sorry. Just to welcome the stuff around the signage, but just to note, but I will follow up with Karen just in relation to what we're doing to actually expand the scheme as well as signposting it, but I'll happy not to follow up with Karen.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Duffy.
Just on item 16, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So Sinn Féin finds the fines and the punishment levied in this case to be inadequate. Considering the seriousness of the situation and the traumatic experience that child witnessed, her pet and her best friend being mauled to death by a really careless dog owner, where there was previous 2 incidents as well. So what I'm asking is just to inquire whether the council possess alternative measures to address the issue effectively where the court didn't.
Yeah.
Chair, I'll come back to the member directly in relation to that, if you don't mind. I think there may have been a particular reason in this case in relation to those particular fines, but I'll just check that and come back if you don't mind.
Thank you. Any further member with any item under information? No. Members, unfortunately, it has reached 8 o'clock and with the best will in the world, we're not going to get through the rest of it. Under standing orders, we have to postpone and reconvene. So Karen, I hope was going to give us the information.
Yeah, members, we have provisionally, and I think there should be a hold in your diary for 2 tomorrow, because obviously we have to produce the minutes. It will be hybrid. So if that's a relief, you can join electronically. So hopefully that will allow us to facilitate the rest of business.
2 o'clock tomorrow. Members, either hybrid option is there. So thanks very much, members. It's been a difficult committee sitting to get through, but we're almost there. And we'll reconvene tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you.